Hey guys, how you going? Metal here. Snorlax is widely considered an S-tier Pokemon in Pokemon Unite, and definitely the best defender in the game. I'm going to show you why he's such a good character to use, what you can do to get the most kills, and help your team score the most amount of points in this game. There's a lot of different move choices for Snorlax with a lot of different ways that you might be able to play him. I'm going to show you the best moveset and the ones that the pros are using to get up into the high tier ranks, get into Master League, those sorts of things. Snorlax is a very popular pick because he's one of a kind in terms of the amount of damage he can do, how bulky he is, you can see the 5-star endurance there, and he's got some great abilities to help you score points. The AoE damage that he puts out is huge, so let's start by going into the moves. Snorlax's third attack is an AoE body slam, and what it also does is it slows the opponent at the same time. This is great for when you're chasing down Pokemon. Snorlax's ability is Gluttony, which means he gets extra health whenever he eats a berry. This is awesome, and you can also use this to gain your opponent's berries as well, because if you're chasing them, stealing berries is always a great idea, but you get the most out of it. So if you're chasing a Pokemon down near their goals, you can take one of those berries, and you can all of a sudden become full HP. Snorlax's starting moves are either Tackle or Rest. Now, Tackle is awesome because it counts as a basic attack, which adds towards that bonus so you can get your third attack as the AoE Body Slam. Rest is an awesome ability because you can heal within the lane and you don't have to go too far away from the battle to be able to heal up. I love using Rest on either my goals, so I'm getting double the amount of heal, or going into the grass to hide as well. Someone might be lurking around trying to catch you. If you can sneak in there and you can rest, then when you emerge from that hidden grass, you're going to have more HP than when you first went in. You might be able to catch them by surprise and get a quick kill. Snorlax is already very, very bulky. If you're healing constantly throughout the laning phase, you're going to be putting a lot of pressure on the opposition. You're going to be able to steal some of those creeps from their side, and all of a sudden you're going to have an XP advantage right from the get-go. Snorlax is really good for taking over early game. Okay, level 6, you can choose between either Flail or Heavy Slam. Both are amazing moves. What Flail does is the lower HP you have, the more damage you're outputting. This is awesome to turn the tide of a battle because you might be getting low, or you might look low because Snorlax is very bulky, and all of a sudden you start hitting Flail and you're dishing out mass amounts of damage. You can quickly turn the tide. What I think is amazing with this ability though is at level 12, you start to gain HP back every time you're dishing out damage. It makes Snorlax really, really hard to kill. I haven't used Flail as much as Heavy Slam. The times I have used Flail is when I haven't had all that much faith in my attacking Pokemon, or I can see from the start they're not doing very well. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to be a defender anymore, I'm going to be an attacker, I'm going to choose Flail. And that's where I can carry the game as a Snorlax. But for the most part, that's not the way you want to play. What you want to do is Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam is an amazing AoE stun. You can also use it as an escape to run away as well. I've used it many times with an eject button. Use the eject, use the Heavy Slam, get way away from the battle. It's a great escape mechanism, but the AoE damage on it and the stun is huge. This is the move that you want to pick. It also does quite a bit of damage, especially when you upgrade it at level 12. It increases the amount of damage that Heavy Slam does. At level 8, you have another hard decision to make, and I love both of these moves. Both Yawn and Block are very, very different moves, and both have extreme advantages in the right circumstances. Yawn is an AoE sleep. The range is not all that long, but if people are lined up, you can hit at least 3 people at the same time, hit them with the 1 Yawn. What I love about Yawn is you can go Slam into Yawn into Slam only a couple of seconds later, so you have a lot of disable all in one go. Now, I've played a lot of games using Yawn, but Block is the better move. Block is something that you can use to stop Pokemon from getting around you, keeping them off the point, or keeping them away from their point and allowing your team to score. It is really, really versatile. While you move very slowly, at level 12, it also increases the amount of defense that you have, or decreases the amount of damage that the opponents are doing to you, allow you to be the tanky self that you are, and let your teammates score. It is extremely useful being able to use Block and push the opposing team off your scoring panel. It is really, really satisfying. If 3 people about to score, you run in with the Heavy Slam, then you're using Block and you nudge them off the point. They're stunned by a little bit of time. You're creating a little bit of time as well for your team to come in and help you out. They haven't scored. Your team's being able to back you up, and then you've done a massive swing on the battle. You can also use Block to push them off their point. If you're defending, you're pushing them off the point. Your team is behind you and they're the ones that are able to score, and your opponents can't do anything about it because they can't get to your point because you are blocking the way. And you can use Block just to bully someone. You can nudge them into the corner, keep Block. They can't do anything about it. They're stunned and stunned and stunned because they're blocked against that wall. This is giving heaps of times for your allies to come in and help you out, or just to delay some time. So to summarize Snorlax's movesets, Heavy Slam into Block is the way to go. Snorlax's ultimate move is called Power Nap. This is awesome because you lie down, you take a nap, and there's a big AoE radius around you where you're doing damage and you're doing a little bit of a knockback to the opponents as well. This is perfect for giving yourself some time. You're blocking them, you can't be stunned or slept or anything like that, and you're healing up very quickly at the same time. It's almost impossible to kill you while you're doing your ultimate. This is great for building up some time, blocking the point, or maybe if you're doing in a big battle right near the end where there's a Zapdos or something like that, you're blocking it while putting out heaps of damage at the same time. I'm often using my Unite move in the dying seconds of the game where all I gotta do is just make sure they don't get a couple more points at the end, sit on the point, do Power Nap. It's hard for them to score. Now let's have a look at items. Firstly, I love the eject button. I think that is just an OP item because it's so quick and gives you a bit of maneuverability around the map. This is great for Snorlax, and this coupled with Heavy Slam is an awesome way to move around the map, jump over walls and stuff like that too. Now for the held items. What I really like to use are Leftovers, Rocky Helmet, and Floatstone. I know some people prefer the Assault Vest over Leftovers, but I prefer the Leftovers because I love the HP and I love the HP recovery. It allows it so even while you're roaming throughout the map, you're gaining a little bit of HP, which is awesome for a Pokemon like Snorlax. Rocky Helmet is a great item because you're dishing back damage as you're receiving it as well, and Snorlax receives a lot of damage as the main tank in the game. I also think Floatstone is a great item and is very, very popular because it gives you that movement speed. Now, Snorlax is also a physical attacker, so the attack doesn't go astray as well. Now let's look into the laning stage. I love laning with something like an Alola Ninetales. What you can do, because Snorlax is so big and bulky and you have so much presence in the lane, it's perfect to be able to bully the opponents, and that gives your attacker some great time to farm and get some extra XP. You've got tackle, you've got body slam, so you can do a bit of AoE damage to both opponents that you might be versing within the lane, and you've got rest whenever you take too much damage. Make sure you're hiding in the grass or going back to your point to rest, because then you're gaining HP without the opponent even realizing it, or you're gaining a lot more at the same time. This is also a perfect time to use eject button as well. You're in there, dishing out damage, eject to the grass, rest. You're just niggling and you're being a pain to the opposing Pokemon who can't help but try to attack you. The whole time, the attacker that you're laning with is just farming. It's too easy. When you need to as well, make sure you're grabbing those berries because the effect on it is huge. You can go from about 10% HP up to about 75-80% HP. Do that with the rest, you're full HP pretty much instantly. As you move into the mid-game, you're going to look for those Heavy Slam opportunities where you can hit multiple Pokemon at a time. You might be sitting in the grass and waiting, and look for those moments to jump and pounce on the Pokemon. Ideally, you don't want to hit one Pokemon unless that's the only Pokemon around, because the AoE on it is really, really nice, and the AoE stun is huge. When you level up to 8 and you start to get that block, this is where you want to be making some plays. You want to use it to make sure you're pushing the opponents off their point, you're scoring some points as well, using it for defending. Make sure you can try to get a lot of Pokemon at the same time. You want to block them or block them into a corner so they can't escape. If you've got a Pokemon in the corner, they're getting stunned and stunned and stunned. It's a long, long disable. Towards the late game, Snorlax gets beefy as all hell. His abilities are always relevant. Heavy Slam is huge. The AoE, the stun, the damage as it gets increased when you're leveling up as well is awesome. And Block is such a good move that you can use it throughout the game. It's never going to be irrelevant. It never scales off either. Block actually gets more important the later you are into the game because you're getting through those dying seconds. Scores are worth double. You want to block the opponent off the point. You want to help and you want to shield your allies so they can score points as well. It's awesome using Block to get people out of Zapdos as well. You can defend while your teams are battling Zapdos. The opponents can't get in there to try to snipe it. As with any game Pokemon Unite, make sure you're playing as a team. You might get the best block in the world, allow your whole team to score. Your opponents can't get to the point at all, but if you haven't communicated or your team's not there, then you're just not going to be able to do anything about it. The best block won't give you any advantage. If you're hiding in the grass, you want to Heavy Slam all 5 opponents at once, make sure your team is there to back you up. Otherwise, you're going to die. Even though your tanking might last a few more seconds in the battle, you need your team there to back you up. You want to be taking all the damage, but you want your attackers to be in there, dishing out opponent damage as well. Snorlax is great for starting battles, setting up massive advantages for your team, and making sure that you're disabling the whole team, allowing your attackers to get in there and finish them off. I absolutely love Snorlax. He's the character I've put the most amount of hours on into the game. I hope you enjoy him too. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe by hitting this button here, and I'll be able to give you more guides in the future. Thanks, guys.